This video is brought to you by the Catherine Wheel of Sick. Icarus, high-rise hamster thinks he's killed Evil Owl, but I reckon Evil Owl has survived.
Hey, Evil Owl, guess what? You ever move at the top of your hydraulic lifts? Oh dear, this lift's going to the top floor. Oh dear, bye! No, stop, no.
For goodness sake, you idiot, of course he couldn't have survived that. Bloody hell, you just like to believe rumours. There's no way he could have survived that. So then, this is my cheap flight adventure to Cologne in Germany, and it's random lift tour time. So then I parked my outside the airport and I'm walking because there's no way I'm actually parking at the airport because it's so fucking expensive. Now then, one of airports can be quite bad in places, but Stansted is the worst airport I've ever come across. Going through this airport is like being a sheep herded through. It's absolutely ridiculous. So then walking into this airport, and they very much do not want people to walk in because there's no pedestrian route in because they want you to park there. But hey, that's not going to stop me walking. So getting into the airport building, and there's literally nothing to see before security. And that's why I've never actually been to this airport before, because there is nothing to see unless you're flying it. So through security, and they take all your liquids away when you go through, so I glugged all my water down just as I got to security, and they all gave me filthy looks because they all want me to buy the expensive water in the shopping area, which I refuse to buy. And also, as well as that, I don't let you fill up bottles of water here. So anyway, my bag went through the X-ray machine, and it was at that point I decided to change operators, and this took 5 minutes. And while I was doing this, they left the X-rays on. So thanks a lot, Stansted, for giving my camera a nice healthy dose of radiation. So then through security and into the awful shopping area. There's nothing interesting to buy here. It's all overpriced crap. Now this is like this long labyrinth of shopping which you have to walk a whole way through to get to the plane. It's awful. And there's all these people that jump out at you, buy this overpriced perfume. So once I finally managed to escape the shopping area, I went to the bit at Stansted which I wanted to see the most, which is of course the transit train. And it turns out the way I send people through the airport is really not good, but I'll come on to that in just a minute. First, let's ride this awesome transit train.
Please hold tightly. This transit is approaching the station for gates 1 to 19 only. Please hold tightly. This transit is approaching the station for gates 20 to 39. Please Leave the transit at this station.
So then this is the last stop on the transit train, and this is where it all went wrong. Because the way they treat you at this airport is very much like herding sheep through the system. It is awful. And once you go out on the transit train to the different gates, you cannot go back again. It is absolutely ridiculous. They want people to wait in the stupid shopping area until airplanes announce, then jump on the trains wherever they want to go. When I'm at a place like this, I like to walk around and explore, but at Stansted, I really do not like people doing this. And if you look at this map here, transit train goes from a main building, it goes round in a big U-shape, it stops at the first building, then the second building is pretty much back where I started again. And my flight, the Ryanair flight, you don't actually go on the transit train to get on, but it's actually in the same building to the building I'm at now. We cannot get through because there's a wall in the way. I've like divided this building into two, so I can't get the train back again. I tried to stay on the train, but I kept getting more and more cross me through the announcer speak. You there, get off the train! I got really angry with me when I tried to do that, and well, can't get back in. I can't walk back because there's a wall in the way between this section and the bit where my flight goes from. Can't get a train back. I am trapped. So I went and spoke to some staff here, and they got a really grumpy person to take me through, and they looked really annoyed at me that I dared to get on the train when I wasn't meant to. So I was now finally able to board my Ryanair flight, which broke down. Well, the airplane didn't actually break down, it was just that the announcements on it were not working, and an aeroplane is not allowed to fly if there's no announcements. Then it took him half an hour to fix this, and after that it missed its slot and all the other aeroplanes went first. So there goes another Ryanair, then another plane lands, then goes EasyJet, then another plane lands, and finally now time for my plane to take off. Let's go. Right then, now the plane arrives in Cologne Bonn Airport in Germany, where I meet my tour guide, who is Post Tower. So then now we go to our first lift, which is a glass lift, which isn't actually that interesting, but we only went in this lift to get to the next lift, which is in a staff only area, and it's got no inner doors. Yes! Sadly, it's been modernised, but it's been placed with stupid DMG, but hey, no inner doors. That is awesome. Hold on a moment, Evil Al might have escaped. Are you sure you tied him up properly? He might have untied himself at the last moment and got to the car top controls and put it back onto inspection.
Don't be stupid! What stupid suggestions? Of course I tied him up properly, you idiot!
And now go to our next lift, which is a 1960s lift, which has been modernised a while ago, and when it was modernised, they replaced the buttons with some second-hand old Otis buttons. That is so weird. And now go to our next lift, which is a paternoster. Yes, but there's a barrier in the way. You're only allowed to ride the paternoster if you've had paternoster training. But hey, that's not going to stop me. And if you take a look at its turnstile barrier thing, you have to use an RFID card to make it move round to get in, and there's a button to press to make it move round to get out. And if you look at the design of it, if I crouch right down and actually walk along as it turns round, when post press the button for one person to go out, I still get pushed round into the trapped area, then move it around again, and I managed to get into the paternoster. Yes! And now go to the next lift, which is an old floor Otis lift.
I reckon Eval survived because his little brother Muffin hid in the corner of the lift and rescued him just in time.
Don't be stupid! High-rise would have checked that nobody was about!
And now go to the next lift, which has sadly been modernised, and all of the upper floors have been locked off, which is annoying. And now along we go to the next lift, which is in a very posh building which has a reception. The sort of building where I'd think no chance of getting in there. Reception won't let anyone in who's not meant to be there. But amazingly, after a lot of talking, Postal actually managed to blag our way in there. That is amazing. I didn't think he'd do it. I couldn't understand what's being said because it's all in German. After lots and lots of talking between them, he actually managed to blag our way into this lift. This lift's a really posh looking 1950s inner doorless lift. Sadly, the logic's been replaced, but it's still really awesome. Let's ride it! And now we go to the other lift in this building, which is a 1970s lift and also looks really posh.
secretly friends, and they made this whole thing up.
And now go to the next lift, which Post Tower members has a key for the basement, and he now has that very key. So let's go down to the basement, and it's Earth exploring time. What is in the basement? And it is very spooky, epic, spooky basement. Wow, this basement is very creepy, and there's loads of bins in this bit, and this bit's loads of pipes. Is that asbestos? Creepy. And now go to the next lift, which has inner doors. But Post Tower's got the key to disable them. Let's ride this lift with the inner doors turned off.
I reckon Evil Owl survived because there must have been room at the top of the lift door.
Don't be ridiculous. Evil Owl didn't care about safety. There was no room at the top of the shaft. And now go to the next lift, which is a glass hydraulic lift. And now to the next lift, which is a glass circular lift. And now to the next lift, which is locked off and needs a key. The Post Tower has that key, yes! And now to another lift that's locked off and needs a key. And once again, Post Tower has the key.
Erstes Untergeschoss.
We are Porn and Done Woody. Everyone seems to think we make porn videos, but we actually modernise lifts. Our lifts are so unique, they're full of Dewhurst, or if not, they're cheap Gen 2's brand as Express. Express used to be a good lift company, but now we just use their name to make ourselves look good. We are so unique. Oh, wait, actually we're not.
Do you want an unreliable lift? Well, Temple Lifts have you covered. Your passengers will be delighted when they're trapped in one of our beautiful lifts. So what are you waiting for? Call Temple Lifts today.
And now go along to the hospital, and along we go to the first lifts, which are some glass lifts. One of them wasn't working and has the indicator showing the floor upside down. Wow. And now go to the next lifts, which are some nice 80s Otises. Now these lifts were incredibly busy and I didn't really get much film of them. And now go along to the next lift, which has no lift button. How do you get in this lift? Next to it, it's got its traffic light. Now this is something I've never seen before. This hospital has an automated driverless transport system. That is just amazing. I mean, I've never seen this before. It's a bit like the Heathrow pod. This completely automatic, drives itself, it doesn't run along tracks, it actually steers itself. And this here is the area where you put in goods and various things, and these robotic driverless vehicles come along to go underneath and move trolleys full of stuff. And these actually use the lift. So this lift here is just for these vehicles. And sadly, none of the vehicles are in use at the moment, and I didn't manage to get a ride in this lift. And now go along to the next lift. And now, along we go to a tunnel that goes between the different hospital buildings. Spooky secret tunnel, just what I like. But they've put gates on it so you can no longer walk along this tunnel. Oh, below this tunnel, there is another tunnel. And this is the tunnel that the automated transport system uses. So then, down to the lower tunnel we go. Down to TK, which translates as deep basement. And here is a station for the automated transport, and it's quite similar. You can put your trolleys full of goods into this section, and the automated vehicle comes along, picks up the trolley full of stuff and moves it along to wherever it has to go, completely driverless and completely automated. And you've got a button here which sends off a vehicle, so red traffic light, press the button, and green traffic light. And if there's a vehicle there, I'd be sending it off, but there isn't any here. So let's now try calling one of these automated robotic driverless vehicles. So then, there is this screen. It's all in German, but luckily Posttower can translate it for me. And let's try calling one.
4 is maintenance, and the 5 is to display unknown. You should not order the unknown. Normal.
And there's lots of options on this and loads of places you can send them to. And it needs a code. I tried to work out what a code is, but I could not work it out, which is very annoying. And now along we go to the deep level tunnel again in a different part of the hospital. And at this point we can actually see the automated driverless transport system in use. Just look at this. This is just amazing, completely driverless. This is like a Heathrow pod. When the Heathrow pod came out, it was like the future of transportation, but this actually predates the Heathrow pod. This is just totally awesome. And now let's ride the automated driverless transport system. And now along we go to a rare Otis Europa 2001. Now along we go to, well, a rather creepy lift, which is, well, this creeped me out. This is actually the mortuary lift. And, well, I was going to go in it, but when Posttower called it and the doors opened, well, let's just not talk about what was inside it. Posttower went in it and filmed it, so if you want to see what's in it, you can see his video. And now, it's when I spotted that the motor room was not locked. Let's go into the motor room. And now, along we go, along to the next this lift, which is another one that's been modernised. And Postal was actually doing a full in-depth lift tour here showing all the different lifts and how they've been modernised. Sadly, some had been modernised since when Postal went here last time, but link in description to his video which shows all of the different lifts here. And while Postal was filming a lift down at basement 3, let's open up the lift doors. Creepy lift shaft, and it's actually quite a long way down to the lift pit. And light switch. And now along back to the tower and along to the 80s Otis bed lifts. And well, when we were down in the basement, and annoyingly I did not get this on film, all of a sudden there was this almighty bang, and it was so loud. A lift engineer had dropped a spanner down the lift shaft. That landed with such a crash, that was so creepy. So then, these lifts are sadly being modernised, the one on left's being modernised first. Let's go up to the top floor and talk to the lift engineers. And post out I talked to lift engineers, I couldn't understand what was being said again because it's all in German, and they said, we can have the lift buttons! Yes, the lift buttons are outside the building in a skip. So along to the skip we went, and here is the 80s Otis lift panel. Wow, this skip is full of old lift parts. Green indicator here, you've actually got loads of selector tape. That was quite amazing. And while we are looking for a skip to see what lift parts there is, right next to this skip, there is an Ali Mac Heck building site lift. Now in England, you cannot even get near one of these. And in Germany, there's less health and safety, there's not as much house fencing about, and I'm right next to one. Seriously, I've just been wanting to ride one of these for so long. And there it is, right in front of me. Now I can just not do this. Let's ride the Ali Mac Heck building site lift. But to my massive disappointment, it is switched off. I tried using this main switch, I still couldn't get it to work. And if you look up, I don't think it's been finished being installed yet, because I think it goes all out onto a roof, so I don't actually think it's finished and it's got no power going to it. I went into it, I tried pressing the buttons, I tried everything to make this lift move, and it would not move. That's very disappointing. I've been wanting to ride an Ali Mac Heck building site lift for so long. And now, back we go on the tram. What floor would you like this tram to go to? Hello, Muffin. Oh, evil owl, I knew it! I knew you'd survived all along! There's been all these rumours about, but I knew you would survive. So, tell me, how did you do it? Well, Muffin, this is how. I always knew my lifts were unreliable, but I did not know that they were that unreliable. It broke down just in time.